on that. Their team is phenomenal. They've got an amazing, amazing executive leadership team that has really gone all in on wanting to make sure that they are one of our premier partners here with GFI. And our executive board loves them. I have sold some emeritus term policies to our executive board of GFI. That's how much they love them. And they want our company repping this product. It is a fantastic product. I don't have a PowerPoint, so I'll just give you guys some powerful points to jot down. But as Cindy was saying, when it comes to their living benefits, they have 18 triggers and they have what's called a lean in approach. It's different than any other carrier on the platform. And to be 100% honest, I don't know how to accurately describe it. All I know is it gives you a more accurate amount of benefit the client will receive versus a discount approach, which is what every other carrier uses. So it might seem like you would potentially get more on the discount approach, but you actually get a more predictable benefit on the lean-in approach. It's actually better for the client. So just to simplify it, just know the lean-in approach actually ends up getting your client more money in a benefit than a discount, which is every other carrier on the platform has a discount approach to living benefits. So that's a big one. I have some notes down. And I will say now they have really, really, really revamped their EAP process, which I'll show you guys. And probably my favorite thing, just to make it really simple from the very beginning, is I just love their quick quote. Or like, I'm all about a quick quoter. Like when you're on an appointment with a client, like how quickly can I give you a quote? And I have my iPhone up because I'm going to show you guys from my phone. I didn't get to do this on Monday morning meeting this morning. Let me see. How do I do it now? This looks different. Oh, there we go. Let me share my screen. There we go. Start. I'll show you guys the app. Do you guys know that Emeritus has an app? It's pretty cool. So ignore all my unanswered notifications. Let's see. So it's the Emeritus Agent app. If you see it, it's to the right of my high level with 1,800 unanswered messages. So if you click on the Emeritus Agent app, you will sign in with your username and password that you use for the website portal, which I'll drop that down here too to make sure you guys are using their most up-to-date portal. It should just automatically sign me in. And you're going to notice right there at the bottom, dead center at the bottom, it says quick quoter. So it'll load all your stuff. It loads all your business in here. Super easy to see your pending business and everything that's currently being issued, what's been issued, what's pending, all that stuff. But down at the bottom, you just click quick quote. Let me move me out of the way. And you literally just select the product. So if you don't know, there's the Clear Edge Living Benefits term. That one includes living benefits. And then the Value Plus term, that's what you will sell in New York. It does not include living benefits. You can sell it anywhere else too, but I highly doubt you would, right? So if you don't want living benefits, you go Value. If you do want living benefits, you'll go Clear Edge. And let's just say we're going to do 01/01/1990. And let's say that they are a non-tobacco user. They are in the grand state of California. They are female. Let's say they want $1 million term. No child rider. And billing frequency is just monthly. That's it. That's all you got to put in. Get quote. And then it will just pop up everything. So you'll see their 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 years. And then preferred plus all the way down to standard. So you see all your prices here. So what I've done when a client will just like text me like, hey, can you give me a quote for this? Like if you guys have clients already, a lot of times they'll just text you like, hey, I need a quote for this or that. Like I'll just roll in here, pull this up. Nobody really ever wants a 10-year. It's kind of rare, right? So I would just go here. I would just take a screenshot of it. And then I would just pull it up and be like, okay, here we go. We're looking at 30-year term. You were preferred, you were at a standard rating last time. This is probably what we're looking at. And I just send it. I'm like, oh, okay, great. And it's just super easy. I like that feature. They are looking at trying to figure out a way to get it to go from here directly into an EAP process right now. So that is something that they are exploring, which would be really great if we could go straight from here straight to the EAP. But I feel like the app would still be difficult to do from your phone. But either way, that's how you use this. So that's relatively pretty simple. Let me go back and let me stop sharing. There we go. Okay, pretty easy. So you guys should all download that. Now, if you don't have the portal, let me make sure you guys are using the most up-to-date portal because they did have an old portal and they have a new portal now. So their new portal, you can get to the new portal through the old portal, but you might as well just start using the new one. So let me drop it in the chat so you guys have it. Boom. Okay, and then I'll share my screen, kind of walk you guys through this. but it should look like this when you guys get to it. Let that load. So it should look like this. If you ever want to go back to the classic dashboard, you can just click on open classic dashboard. That's their old one. But it should look like this when you guys log in, and you can rearrange your little quick links. You can edit whatever you want to see up here, so you can drag and drop different stuff. Mainly what you guys are going to use is the illustration hub and submit applications and probably forms if you are needing them. I just got an email that I need a form for somebody. So it's really easy to find forms. And then all your business will appear down here, whatever is issued, whatever is pending. If anything's not placed, all your active business will be down here. So the portal is pretty easy. For actually submitting applications, if you guys haven't done it before, everything is done through Firelight. So you would just click here to submit applications. It'll take you straight to it. I will say their illustration software for IULs, they're revamping all of it right now. Took me a couple seconds to figure it out. I'm pretty good at it now. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time to go over it at the second. I can always come back again and give a training on the actual illustration for IULs. It's really actually easy once you figure it out. Just took me a couple seconds to figure it out. But submit applications is here. This actually takes us back to the old dashboard. You just click log in, and then it's going to take you to your Firelight portal, where you'll just click new activity in the top right corner. Please, please, please always click application. Do not click paper upload. You will never, ever, ever use this feature. Ever, ever. There's never going to be a reason you're going to need it. You're always going to do application. And then you just click next. And then let's just say we're doing California. You can filter by life. And then you're always, 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 every single time you're going to use accelerated underwriting. That's always when you're used. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to use full medical underwriting, ever. Because even if your client is still, like, you believe they're unhealthy, you'll be shocked at what you can get through the system that doesn't need a medical exam. You will be very, very surprised. And even still, going through the non-med underwriting process, sometimes they won't need meds. Maybe they'll just need an APS or something like that, right? To be able to avoid it, like, try to avoid it at all possible. And then you kind of just click on this, and it's going to take you to the next step where you just enter the client's information. And here's where I would just put in their name. I don't know, John Doe, whatever, term, LB. Yeah, boom. And then great. And then the rest of the stuff is relatively pretty easy. I mean, you guys should know how to fill out Firelight e-applications for the most part. They are looking at switching things around where they're going to put the medical questions first. And the benefit to that being that you can actually get like an approval before the application's even done, which is crazy. So they're really doing a lot of work to make that happen. I will say the only thing for me, the only weird thing inside this application, I don't know why it's weird for me, but whenever you get to the medical questions, it pops it up as a separate window. And when you complete the medical questions, there is no button that says close or save. You just complete the last question, and then you just you close the window yourself. That to me was very strange. Like, I was expecting for it to have like a completion button. There is no completion button. Just know whenever you're done with the medical questions, you close it. Sometimes there might be additional medical questions that will be asked. It will kind of generate like a little update in this bottom right corner for you. If there's additional medical questions that are asked, you will not be able to proceed to actually submit the application. You'll have to go back into the health questions again. It will load maybe another 2 or 3 pages you have to go through, and then you can complete it. So just a weird little thing that I've noticed on my side with the medical questions. But other than that, it's relatively pretty easy. And the same thing, you're just going to get your green check marks as you go through it. So that's the only thing that I've noticed on the e-app process, relatively pretty simple. But I will say overall, when you guys submit it, you should know, like, you'll know right on the spot if that client's going to get, like, they call it tentatively approved. Like, it'll say offer is tracking preferred plus. Like, it'll tell you when you get through the actual submission process of it, does the client still want to proceed with submitting? It'll say that. And you say, yes, I do. And if they're going to get approved, like, you can get approved in 12 hours. Like, I've gotten approvals that fast. And then if you guys are on your stuff, if you're watching your emails, if you're actually on it and you respond immediately when those emails come in, that policy will issue out within 24 to 36 hours. You'll receive it in your email to actually DocuSign and complete. Depending on who your case manager is, they might send you a follow-up email after it's been DocuSigned asking if they have permission to draft. Some do, some don't. So typically what I do is to avoid that 1 day extra delay on the draft, I e-sign it, and then whoever the case manager is, you've been getting email updates from them the whole time. I'll just shoot them an email and say, hey, client just e-signed it, please draft. So I don't have to wait for them to email me, can we draft? Because not everyone does it, but some do. It's a little weird little side thing. But it can be that fast. If you guys are like late and delaying, that's going to delay stuff. So we tend to notice the delay is more so on the agent. It's not right now on emeritus. And if I know this is not about IULs, but if you guys are doing IULs, make sure you're responding with the actual revised illustration. You are not sending that in. That's been a big delay with them getting out the actual policy packets for people and making sure the illustrations are correct. They match the indices that you selected, they match the premium, all that stuff. If you are in the state of New York, who's in New York? I heard there's a New Yorker.
We have a few, and there was also a question about like non-term products that you recommend there.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. So if you are a New Yorker, just so that you know, they do not do electronic delivery in the state of New York. It will be paper. So they're going to email you a PDF copy through your Emeritus email, not to your Gmail account. It's going to go into your Emeritus email box. You'll be able to see it inside of your portal. You got to download that. You can upload that into DocuSign and then send it to your client yourself through DocuSign. That is totally fine and acceptable. And then when you get it, you have to send them back the DocuSign packet with the certificate to the DocuSign showing that it was all done legally. You send that in and it's fine. Everything will be just fine. But let me see. You said there was a question about a non.
The question was, what do you recommend for a whole life in New York, or, kind of a permanent product?
I would do their IUL. So they've got the growth and they've got the value IUL. So their value IUL has no living benefits, same as the value term. Their growth IUL has all three living benefits in every single state in this country, including New York. The only difference in New York is the indices are slightly different in New York. You will notice that obviously per every other policy in New York, caps are a little bit lower, and they use predominantly all S&P, so it's just the S&P indexes that are available in New York, but it's very competitive. I have a huge team out in New York. They sell a ton of it. It's really easy to sell. You get all three living benefits. If your client this is just kind of a fun hack. If your client really wants living benefits and cannot afford an IUL, what you can look at selling is their UL, their universal life product, and just have the client pay the minimum on it. If they just pay the minimum, it is guaranteed to last for 20 years. And it comes with all three living benefits. So basically what you've done is you've converted a permanent product into a term product temporarily for the next 20 years. It'll be slightly more expensive than a term, but not much more, because obviously it's going to include living benefits. And then the great thing about that is if they change their mind and maybe they're making more money in 10 years and they want to keep it as a permanent product, they just pay more money into it. They don't have to get reapproved. So that's kind of a nice little workaround in the state of New York to get living benefits in like a term type situation. But to give you an idea, I had done a training appointment with a lady where we came across a Primerica household. They had two term policies for a husband and wife. Primerica, it was $250 a month, and they were both at like $250,000 in coverage. We were able to replace both of those and get 3 IULs for the kids for $250 a month. For $500,000 in coverage on the terms, and then $150,000 in coverage for each one of the kids. Like, ridiculous how cheap it is. I just did an upgrade, another Primerica one in the state of Florida. She was paying $67 a month for a $500,000 30-year term with no living benefits. We just upgraded her to an emeritus term, 30 years, $500,000 for $31 a month with all three living benefits approved in 12 hours. So less than half the price with living benefits. Like crazy. They also have a feature where you can get a discount if it's the same bank account on multiple applications. You will see it. It's inside the quote or inside their actual illustration hub section. And you really got to look for it. It's one of the last questions on the applications. So you got to really be reading. I know we kind of default to checking no on a lot of those questions because we just fly through them. You got to read for it. It's one of the last questions on the app, but it will say same pair discount is what it's called. And it gives them like a 1 or a 2% discount on it, which is like $2 a month, right? That's helpful when you're trying
And it's
to go
a great way to sell another policy.
yeah, and you have to check that box in the application or they can't go back and retroactively add it. So you have to check the box. If the next application has not gone in yet, that's okay, totally fine, but check it. And then when the next application goes in, you have to reference the original one and you'll just put in the name of the client, and if you have the policy number, you put that in,
So
and
they
then
get
they'll
them on
connect it.
both the policies a discount or just on the second one?
On both. Yeah.
Wow,
Whatever you list it for, they'll get them on both, which is great. That's kind of a cool feature.
that's
Um,
super cool.
us as agents can get a discount on emeritus too. They do list us as like, I don't know the right way that they say it, as like representatives. So we can also get like a 1 or a 2% discount on our emeritus policies as well, which
There
is
you
kind of
go.
nice. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I missed, but I think another thing that you guys should be looking at them for is any like ITIN related situations. Like they're really good with ITINs. They only require the applicant to be in the United States for at least 6 months. They also have to have seen a doctor. So those are the only requirements. Be in the United States for at least 6 months and have seen a doctor, and they're good with ITIN. Pretty good with visas. I've only so far came across one visa that they did not accept that I had to go to a different company for. But other than that, they're great with all visas. Good with iTunes holders, so I would be looking at them for that. And when I have priced them against Corbridge and North American, they're all just about the same. Like they're within a couple bucks of each other depending on the age of the client. So for me, like I said, I keep it simple. I'm kind of a one trick pony when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I find one company that works and I run with it. What I always liked about Emeritus is depending on the age of the client, I try to go to Ethos first because it's instant approval, instant issue, right? That's awesome. But sometimes the quotes are different in price. So what I'll always do is I'll pull it up on Ethos first and say, hey, if you want to go through Ethos, I can get it to you for $40 a month. It's instant approval, instant issue, no medical exams needed. It's an emeritus term. If you want to try and get it slightly cheaper, we can go direct to emeritus. It might be $35 a month or $30 a month, but there's a chance you might need to do a medical exam and a chance you might need to get medical records requested. I don't know for sure though. Your choice, which one you want to do. It's the same exact product. It's just how do you want to apply for it? So that's a lot of times how I'll pitch it to people as well and let
That's a
them
great
choose.
nugget. That's a
Because it's the
great
same.
nugget because I don't think a lot of people realize that the ethos term is the emeritus term, and that it includes the same living benefits. And then something to note, ethos clients get the free living trust.
Exactly. And that's what I'll tell them too. Like if you want the trust and you want it instantly approved, instantly issued, like you're gonna pay a little bit of a premium for it, but we can get it done right now in the next 10 minutes. Or if you're down to see if this maybe it'll take a day, maybe it'll take a week, maybe it'll take a month. I don't really know. If you're down to wait, we can try and go direct to Emeritus. I had a couple of clients recently where we tried to do them through Ethos and they just didn't get good ratings for whatever the reason was. Sent them all direct to Emeritus and they got preferred rating like half the price. Couldn't tell you why. I have no idea. But
Amanda, real quick, credit. How are they with people with certain kind of like I know Corbridge was they did not like bad credit. How is Emeritus on that side? Do you know?
I have not had any issues with them with that. I'll say overall pretty lenient on health, pretty lenient on
Yeah.
most
I
things.
loved
I have
Corbridge. It was just that's the challenge. Like you could have had a perfect health person, but if they had some like not so good debts, they were gonna get standard rating.
yeah. Ethos is like that too. If they don't have good credit, they're gonna
Mhm.
knock them, right? Ethos, if their credit
Mhm.
is locked, you're not even gonna get approved because they have to be able to check, like do like a soft credit check.
Right.
But I don't think Emeritus really pays much attention to that. I haven't had many issues with really anything. Like honestly, most of my clients that I've done, I have never had one client rated. Everybody's been standard or better. Most of mine come through preferred, and I mean, if you guys ever need any help with anything, our reps there are fantastic. They're really easy to work through, and they're really, really heavily focused on earning our business. Like that's a big one for them. They know they really effed up pretty bad last year when they got really slow, and they have owned that, and they have really run with that. And we meet with them what feels like weekly, but I think it's monthly, and we track that, and we see their progress, and they have like actual trackers on down to the freaking minute how long it's averaging them to issue policies for GFI. It's pretty fantastic what they're working on. And I know so many more things are coming where they're trying to be able to get things almost instantly approved as you're submitting the application. So a
That's
lot is
awesome.
coming. I think you should try them if you've used them before. I promise you it's a completely different process now. And it's worth it to give them a shot. And apparently it's now one of the only term policies we have left that's going to pay us full compensation too. So roll with it.
Definitely. And I think it's a great like I think a lot of and by the way, I'll say this so and I just wanted Amanda to share here, but at the end of the day, you have all the other carriers are still on our platform, right? Like you could still write it. We just want you to know that I don't want anybody to feel like it was a step down because quite the contrary. I want to share something here real quick. I put on the chat the brochures. They actually have them in Spanish as well. So I put both the English and Spanish brochures, but they're an A plus rated company. Portion because there's an actual Q&A portion for the living benefits, and it gets into it. It breaks down what are some of the what are examples of critical illness, what is chronic illness. It really does a great job. And so if you guys want to have that, I would encourage you guys download the brochure. You guys could use it, and be able to have that. Are there any like quick questions that we want to ask Amanda? I know I don't want to keep her on too long. She's been on, and I appreciate you, Amanda, for being on. Any last minute questions that anyone may have?
Can I
Or
do a quick plug for their juvenile policies?
absolutely.
So, just fun fact, if you guys don't know, I know most of the time when we write juvenile policies, usually we write like smaller policies, like anywhere from maybe 100 to 250K and a death benefit. They are the only carrier, to my knowledge, on the platform that, in terms of getting a juvenile approved for a policy, they don't look at double the coverage of the owner. They look at double the coverage of both parents combined. So if the owner cannot get coverage, for what I'm dealing with this right now in a situation where the owner cannot get coverage, he's got a pass and he's never going to get covered. But the wife can. Well, he's not really his wife, baby mama, right? Baby mama can get coverage and he cannot. So, but emeritus will do double the coverage of both parents combined, whatever they have, and they will go all the way up to 2 million in coverage for a child. There's no cap
Oh,
on
wow.
what they'll give a child. Just the parent has to have double the coverage. Where other carriers will cut off at 500,000 or 1 million, they're like, we don't care. We'll give the kid up to 2 million in coverage, but the parent has to have double. The parents combined have to have double, not just one parent, but both. So if you come across, like I had done at the end of last year, a business owner, we did two $700,000 death benefits for the kids. And he only had like 1 million in coverage, but his wife had like another 750. We could combine it and it worked. This is kind of a fun fact. If you guys are working
That's
with bigger
cool.
juvenile policies, I'd probably look at emeritus for that too.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you, Amanda. I
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
so much jumping on last minute with us. It really means a lot. And so we just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
Thanks. Have a great
welcome.
night, Amanda.
Right, emeritus. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Amanda.
Awesome.
You're
All right, guys,
welcome.
I want to share a few things. So, a couple things that I want to share with you guys. So, I know that I told you guys that we all got a raise, and I want to tell you why it's such a big deal. Okay, so earlier today, I shared this with our some of our base shop CFTs. So, American Equity, they just sent an update on their rates, and this is huge, you guys. So so the way you guys, I hope all you guys are all like CFTs or just about to be CFTs, right? So the power of an indexed annuity is you could go one of two routes, right? So you could go route number one, I'm not going to pay any fees. I'm not going to lose anything if the market goes down. And depending on the movement of certain indices, I'm going to earn an interest, right? Something I will recommend all of you to always incorporate, regardless of what annuities genius or I don't care what it is. I promise you, you will have a great conversation if you're using the S&P 500 as a good chunk of the percentage of the breakdown of one of the sub account allocations. But why is that powerful? Well, if you look, this is the bonus one, okay? But let's look at the non bonus one. If we look at the non bonus one, year over year, so based on the growth, the cap rate is 9.25. That means you have a client that can earn over 9% without any loss potential in that account. I want you to think about that for a second. That is incredibly, incredibly powerful. Now, if your client is willing to pay a fee for bigger growth potential, then that cap will now be 11.75. They have a generous bonus that you can use. And by the way, the 9-year one is for California. So if you're not writing California, it's a 10-year. That's why you see both. But what's nice is that they pay the same. With the bonus, the cap rate is a 5% on the basic or 6 3/4. And if you guys understand bonuses, essentially that's like you're accelerating some of the growth early on. And that could be great because you could have compounded interest on a larger amount, right? Or things like that. But that's why you see the difference because there is that acceleration of 14% on whatever they move in. Something really nice about American Equity is that clients can, let's say, they have another account that they come across to within a year, 2 years, they can continue to add if they want to, right? So that's something that's available there that I wanted to share with that. What I want to talk about as well, and I know many of you guys were on this morning, but I want to share this with you as far as like, hey, this is what our envisionment is and how are we running with this, right? So, based on some of the updates that we saw, this is some of the products that I'll tell you for Jesse and I that we will work with quite a bit, right? So the Anico rate certain. By the way, that's the comp on the really high year. I don't usually write anything more than a 10-year, if I can be really honest with you. That's usually the highest number of years that we will write. But that's what that comp is for that one, right? The American, this just went up. So this is huge, by the way. I'll be sharing it as of now. I think it's a 6 month thing that we got essentially a raise from American Equity, which you guys, something I want you to know, GFI doesn't have to push that down to the field. Like I was part of a company that the discussion was never like, guess what, you're gonna get paid more. It was always lower, 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 right? Even though the volume went up. So the fact that we get that, it just speaks volumes of just what we have here. And so that's pretty awesome. So American Equity, and of course, the North American Charter Plus. Something I want to tell you is Global Atlantic for your older clients. So most carriers, when a client is over 60, 75, their comp is really low. That's where Global Atlantic will come in. And they've got a great product as well, right? But if you were to go, Cindy, what are you guys running with? I would say Anico's a big one. American Equities are second and North Americans are third. If I would tell you one of the things that's really awesome about North American, your client receives a check. That check doesn't need to actually be physically mailed. They can literally take a picture of the front and back of the check, upload it, and kind of like, you know how we deposit checks now? We don't have to physically go to the bank. You know how we could do it through the app? It's the same thing with North American. So they've got the technology right, right? So that's something awesome. If you go, what do you like about American Equity? I love their caps. I love the ability to know suitability right away and where it stands. A lot of times, if I have a big case, I'll go half rate certain, half American Equity. That's how I like to go because of how their crediting works. So that's a lot of just kind of back end. What if I'm writing an accumulation IUL? I will tell you F&G Path Setter IUL is still very powerful. The North American Builder Plus IUL 4. By the way, Wednesday is going to be the official launch. So everyone will be able to do the North American IUL directly through the Ethos platform. So that is going to be exciting. However, in California, we don't have it yet. And of course, New York, it will not be available there, right? But hopefully, all of us have clients everywhere that we have the ability to help. I would say those are the big ones that you want to run with. Obviously, Corebridge is still on there as well, but just in terms of simplifying the term, I will say that Emeritus is going to be our top choice that we're going to go with, if not the Ethos, which is still going to be that. Do you have access to Mutual of Omaha? Yes. The thing with Mutual of Omaha, if I could be really honest with you, would make it, you wouldn't take your healthy clients there. And the reason for it is because the rating is going to be just standard essential rating, right? So it's not like you're really giving an added benefit for rating for your healthy clients. So Emeritus will be the direction that we will really be going, or the Ethos there. Final expense, something I want to share with you guys. Some of us came from another company where we were used to a concierge called Everest. Through Quility, through American Amicable, Everest is available to clients. So I just wanted to share that because that is available. There is a training that they're going to be having. If you guys are interested, I can share that on our chat as well, so that if you guys want to jump on that, that will be something that we'll have. What's nice now through Ethos, we have True Stage, that's 100% comp. And of course, the core bridge is there as well. The challenge with core bridge is the split, and you got to be able to get it in on time for that. Juveniles, I would say North American Builder Plus IUL will be your number one, or the Corebridge QOL Max Accumulator. That would be the one I would definitely go with in that case. I saw Myrna put this up. You guys, there's second to die IULs that a lot of times people want. That means that you can get insurance on a couple, right? And essentially that policy will pay at the time of the last person's death. And so it's a great way for like estate planning, things like that. And that would be Emeritus who offers that there. So I want to share really quick in closing with you guys where to go to find some of these resources. Now, this will likely change with Teva coming out as far as where we're going to find it. But I would just encourage you guys, GFI will always have a product guide. So familiarize yourself. Make it a point that you look at a product guide if you know you're going to be writing business coming up, so that you know, right? And the way it works is, so if I go, all right, let's go product guide here. And by the way, let's go back there. They show just, you see that 8.01, the newest comp for American Equity. So that's really awesome. But let's go here, product guides. If you scroll down, you can click. So let's say I go Platinum Life, right? And now it's gonna tell me every product, and the payout of 100%, it's either 100% of annual premium or target premium, whichever is less. Something I want to encourage you guys, many carriers do not advance on the policy fee. So like Ethos doesn't, and the policy fee could be like $89 a year or something like that, right? So just sometimes people are like, wait, I didn't get paid correctly or this or that. Just familiarize yourself with that. I believe Emeritus is the same. I think that North American is the same. So there were several carriers that work that way. And that's just because that's their standard fee. So they don't commission off of that. But this way you get to see, right? Like, okay, who do we have? What are the carriers? Who pays on what? If you're like, wait, why don't I see a carrier? Well, go to gold, right? Maybe you'll find it there, that product. If not gold, you can go there. And again, you guys, something I want you to know, and there's a whole guide for New York as well. By the way, why do I like this? Because this doesn't just tell me what is the payout. It tells me what are the products for that, right? Like, hey, I'm looking for products in long-term care or whatever, right? That's a great way to get that. And something I want you to know is this: at the end of the day, do what's right. If, let's say, Corebridge is good, but now it's, I don't know, what is the, let me look at Corebridge. It's a, let's say it's a Corebridge. Let me look. Sorry, I'm looking here. Their, by the way, their protector dropped as well. Now it's 91.67, right? Or the Corebridge term is 91.67 as well, right? For their 20-year and above. By the way, anything below 20-year has always been less than 100. So don't be shocked by that. And even on our old company, that's always the case. However, if that is the case, I mean, you guys, we're talking about like 8% and change. Do you understand? Like, it's nothing. It really is nothing, the difference. But I don't want, here's the biggest thing, you guys, we want to really have here is a level of transparency, right? Where there's not a level of like, wait, I didn't know what. Is this the one you wanted to see, Deborah? I think it was. I want to make sure that all of you guys are aware, you know where to find it, you know where to get it. And one thing I really want you guys coming into this new year is just thinking like business owners, making a willingness to invest in your business, not just the technology that we're all going to be subscribing to, but I think beyond that. Like I want to commend Rick. Like he's somebody that has been for months investing in his business. He wants to grow. He wants to scale. Like if you're thinking like an employee, like if you come to this business and you're like, I don't want to invest anything, like I just want to see what I could get from it and that's it, like you're not really going to grow. You're not really going to get, you're not going to succeed because you're thinking from scarcity. I believe one of the reasons why franchises are so successful, you want to know why? Is because people put hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. That's why people are successful. And I think one of the reasons why we may have a significant number of agents that don't do the business well or don't try is because of the minimal commitment. And I want to talk to you guys as leaders, right? Because obviously now GFI, let me be honest, we're gonna have a 2030 event. It's gonna be there's gonna be a pop. You know, you follow me? And that pop is only gonna work if we have the level of persistency that we need, if we have the level of growing and scaling. For all of us on this call, I'm going to tell you something. The simple dashboard of letting us know when a policy is in grace, just that feature alone is going to pay for Teva itself for the year. I want to be honest with you. Like that feature alone, where you're going to be able to see you and your team, and if you've ever had it, I mean, my assistant emails you guys all the time, like, hey, this policy this, hey, this policy that, like, hey, is this one gonna go back? And a lot of the times it was like, shoot, I didn't even know, right? I didn't even know. That alone is gonna be a game changer amongst a lot of the other things that we're gonna be having. And so I have an attitude of gratitude. I know that millions of dollars have been poured in. I mean, we've got the guy from Ethos that's running our Teva. Do you realize that? Like, we're a startup, but our founders have invested millions and millions of dollars so that we have a tool, so that we're not just running some like rinky dink company, we're running like a true, legitimate agency. There's going to be a point, hopefully before, by the way, they dropped this morning on the call that they're looking to do not just pay Tuesday and Friday, but 3 days a week by quarter 3. Like there's so many incredible enhancements that they're looking at that I'm going to be honest with you. I want to make sure we're all coming into this with the right frame of mind. A couple things I want to say before closing here. Power Hour every day at noon, Jesse Pacific Standard Time. Jesse's running Power Hour. So if you guys want to jump on, you want to make calls, that makes a difference. 3 and 3, you guys, if you are not a senior associate, hey, give yourself a raise. Can you? Like, you have my permission. Like, Audrey, please. Brenda, please, Colin, like you understand? Like somebody, Ricardo, like I almost want to go, Ricardo, you don't freaking hit it. Like there's something we're gonna do here. You know what I mean? It's like Sylvia, you follow me? Like Marjorie, Ricardo, like there's so many of you guys. But you know what I'm gonna say to the other of you that are already senior associates and above? Put an example. Let's put an example for our agents, right? To show them that it's possible, to show them that it's very easy to do. You can do it. 60% pay raise for 3 and 3. You guys, I'm going to be honest with you. If I can be fully vulnerable, not a lot of leaders were very happy about that. Not a lot. And you want to know why? Because they're like, what the heck? Now, let me tell you what's stinking thinking. That's scarcity mindset, right? Because if you're thinking abundance, let me tell you, you're going to think about the volume that's going to create. You're going to think about the explosion. You're one recruit away from an explosion, right? Remember, if taken properly through the system. So if we're driving recruiting this month, we're driving the bonus this is explosion. This is the seed. And I want to encourage you guys. Again, I'm going to put it on the chat. Watch the video, you guys, that I had playing early on. It's about 40 minutes, but I think it's worth rewatching. And I want to tell you this. What you feed your mind, like what your mindset is, what are you listening to? What are the things that you're waking up to? Like all of these things are going to impact your thinking, your performance, like everything, how you do everything. You know, think about if you put water in your car instead of gasoline, is it going to run the same way? No. Well, what are we feeding our minds? What are we allowing to enter our minds? And so, if you whether you realize it or not, right now there's a little voice talking as I'm talking. It's feeding you thoughts right now, like this second. And so if you don't have something else louder feeding your mind, directing your mindset to be the right mindset, guess what? That little voice is going to win, and we're going to have stinking thinking and bad habits, and we're not going to get to where we want to be. It's not that we don't have what it takes to win. It's that we came with an employee mindset and we're working on shifting it to be an entrepreneur mindset. And so, one of the big challenges that we're going to have this year is thinking like business owners, willing to invest in our business like business owners, thinking big, right? Looking at the vision, seeing yourself as an EMD, seeing yourself as a recipient of a check, right? Like really having that vision. And I want you guys to know we believe in this group. We believe in this organization. We know we're going to rise. We know we're going to be a force to be reckoned with here within GFI. As I look at all your faces, I see the desire. I see what you want to be able to accomplish. You're on tonight. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're on tonight. For some of you guys, you worked a full-time job. For some of you, there's things going on in your life. And the fact that you're here, I just want you to know it speaks volumes to Jesse and I. And our commitment to be that leader and to help you guys and to get you to where you need to be so that you can win and grow, I want you to know that we have your back. And we're here to do it. And we want to see this year be the absolute most explosive, record-breaking year in GFI history. So with that said, you guys have a great night. I know right now Yariv is kicking off a call for GFI. By the way, Yariv is the newest senior partner in GFI, so he definitely brings a great mindset. I will be sharing the call that Leland Rubin did as well today because it was a really great call on the mindset of recruiting. So with that, you guys have a great night. I appreciate you guys, and we will see you all at the top. Let's go, guys.